I mean, I think the 4-year cycle is dead. What do you think is going to happen in 2026?
Look, I think that trying to guess where the market goes over a 100-day time frame is a fool's errand. Like I literally just said 95 days ago, we were at an all-time high and you're complaining about Bitcoin price action. Like, we have the attention, of sixth graders. Not even sixth graders.
It's not complaining, it's
Name
more
one
I'm surprised.
thing in your life you accomplished in less than 100 days. Like you can't, you're supposed to have, you can't have a baby in less than 100 days. You can't get a college degree in less than 100 days. How many companies were started and declared successful in less than 100 days? Was what Bitcoin did made successful in 94 days,
Absolutely
right?
not.
I mean, if you actually did a test on every single human endeavor for the last 100,000 years, and you said, well, I'm going to cancel them all if they weren't successful on the 93rd day. First of all, nothing and none of us would be here, right? So I think it's a mistake to fixate on short frequency events. The whole message of Bitcoin is you're supposed to have a low time preference. So I think that if you're an investor, if you're buying a company, if you're investing in a company, expecting it to be successful in less than 4 years just marks you as naive. Like, name a venture capitalist that would say that if the company that I invested in isn't a screaming success in less than 4 years, that I'm just going to sell my investment.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So if you're an investor, you need a 4-year time frame. But if you're a progressive, if you're an ideologue, okay, so you got up and you decided that you wanted to change the world by spreading an ideology, you probably need a 10-year time frame. So if we go back and ask, well, how long did it take Gandhi to get where he wanted? I mean, look at the history of every ideological movement, for the last 10,000 years. Normally, people that are deemed to be committed to something have a 10-year time frame. And if you did something by the way, the world's full of people that spent 10 years working on something and they still weren't successful, and it took them another 10 or 20 years. But I think that if your goal is to see Bitcoin commercialized, you really shouldn't be analyzing, or you shouldn't be assessing your success with a frequency of 10 weeks or even 10 months. So, I mean, what does it matter what happens in 2026 with the price, right? Take electricity. You know how long it took to go from 4% of factories running on electricity to 75%
No idea.
of factories? 30 years. Okay, so if you're an electricity maxi and you think that, by the way, electricity is probably the single greatest development of our lifetime. Take away electricity, all the cities die, Florida becomes uninhabitable, hospitals don't work, refrigeration doesn't work, half the planet dies. And so I give you the gift of clean, invisible, efficient energy that revolutionizes the world, and it still takes 30 years before 70% of the people agree with you. Okay, so Bitcoin is digital energy, it's digital capital, it's the basis of digital credit, it's the basis of digital money, it's developing very rapidly, we're making great inroads. You're like, well, the 4-year cycle is dead. Well, the irony is the people that are saying that haven't waited 4 years. We've only been 95 days since the peak of the cycle, okay? So how about, I think that if you actually assess Bitcoin's performance on a rolling 4-year moving average, you see a progression that looks pretty bullish. I think 2026 is going to be a great year for Bitcoin, but I think that you shouldn't be roped into trying to forecast what is the price in 90 days or the price in 180 days. It's kind of like saying, well, 6% of the factories in Detroit have electricity. Well, what percentage of the factories will have electricity in 12 months? Well, you're wrong, and therefore electricity is awful. It's like, Jesus Christ, it took 30 years for people to embrace the most obvious invention in the world.
Yeah.
And the same goes with radio, the same goes with, with television.
然后如果你今天在 YouTube 上看的话，请帮我订阅，然后把小铃铛点开，你就不会错过下一集。谢谢这扩穿这。如果你觉得今天的直播你有学到新的东西，也帮我把影片给分享出去。区块现在的每日直播是每周一、每周三、每周五呢都会讲最新的区块链新闻，然后各种加密货币跟去中心化金融 DeFi。我们明天见，拜拜。